Hey yo, so I'm kind of notorious for having something in my head, trying to explain it with my hands, and I'm pretty sure that most people can't pick it up. So what I'm showing you guys is, again, I made a video of this backing. This is the foam. You've got hard foam and soft foam to kind of soften the blow of anything hitting. And this is what I meant when I said perforated titanium. Each one of these sheets I got at eBay for about 14 bucks. And this is how I'm going to lay them out. I have more of them upstairs. So this would be layer number one. So essentially what I would do is, cut them, trim them, line them up perfectly where they need to go. Then to mechanically attach all of these pieces together as one, I plan to use like a stainless steel wire or something thin where I can interweave it. So this whole thing, every little hole, will be interweaved. So essentially what you'd be getting is kind of like what you have when you have a Kevlar carbon fiber, like cross weaved. So you see the yellow and the black and stuff, and they're all woven together to make a composite Kevlar carbon fiber material. That's kind of like what I'm going with here. So you'd have the steel and you'd have the titanium, and this would be cut to the shape of this. Then once I have 4 or 3, I still don't know how many I'm going to need, but I would like to make it at least 4 millimeters thick. Each one of these is 1 millimeter. So the idea would be to make this. Then I plan to take sheets of ballistic Kevlar, which I have a shit ton upstairs, and make it a certain thickness. And so the Kevlar would be cut to the shape of this as well. And then take 5200 marine adhesive, squeegee it on. Now one thing I will mention with the Kevlar is it does have some kind of protective coating, so you can't get to the fibers. What I've found is that if you take some masking tape, you stick it onto the Kevlar, it will peel that protective layer off, and then you have the raw fibers, so you can get a really nice bond between the 5200 and the Kevlar fibers. And the idea would be set a few layers of that Kevlar squeegee it with the 5200, then put more Kevlar, squeegee it, Kevlar, 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 another layer of this, Kevlar, 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 another layer of this. So you'd have one layer of this on the bottom and one layer of this on the top. So that'd be at least 4 millimeters with 2 layers in between. So you'd be looking at maybe 3 layers of Kevlar and 4 layers of this, one on the top and one on the bottom. And I'm thinking that once these things are assembled with the stainless steel and stuff, I also may get some silver solder, which is the soldering rods that they sell in Arbor Freight, to additionally mechanically attach all of this together. So the steel and the titanium will be physically attached with the solder, hopefully, and it'll make it even stronger. And then again, put everything in a hydraulic press with the 5200. 5200 does have a long cure time, so it would give me, let's say it takes me a whole day just to once I have everything cut to the shape, to glue everything together. Then the idea would be to put it in a hydraulic press and just compress it. The more compression you get, the better the material, I think, would come out. And let it compress, maybe let it cure for a week or 2 weeks to make sure that the 5200 is 100% cured all the way through, because what you don't want is for it not to be cured, then to take it apart and it kind of like pops off. So you want it to make sure that it's completely cured. So I figure something in a press for about 2 weeks, the 5200, and since it's open to the air, it's going to take me a while to put all the thing together. It should cure really nice and tight. And what you'd have is kind of like what I did with the pad. So you'd have maybe what I'm going for is maybe a 1/2 inch of this hybrid steel and titanium Kevlar material. Again, 4 of these and then 3 of the Kevlar in between. I don't know how many layers of the Kevlar I'm going to put, but I have a shit ton. So we'll see how thick it gets. And again, compressed so I can get it to a very small size. And then once that's done, I have another Kevlar cloth, which is not ballistic, but it's Kevlar cloth. It's like a tweed. So it looks almost like a jean, it looks almost like a cotton. So instead of covering the carrier with, let's say, ballistic nylon or cotton or something, I plan to do the same thing I did with this, which is basically put one layer of the Kevlar on the inside, one on the outside, glue it together, and maybe 2 layers or 3 layers of that tweed on the outside. And the idea would be if you have an impact, the Kevlar is, well, it's one of the strongest materials, at least fiber cloth-wise. So it should hold together, and what I don't want is to get multiple hits and then have the carrier kind of fall out of the assembly, because that would be kind of useless. So again, you'd have maybe 2 or 3 layers of the Kevlar cloth holding this in place. Everything. The cloth won't stick that well with the 5200, so what I'm planning is maybe some kind of spray adhesive like the one I used for here, to just put those layers together and then maybe sew them, and then everything would be sewn, kind of like what I did with this, because this is actually sewn right now. So I got to just put like a shit ton of and then finally, once I got a nice solid line, I plan to cross so it really holds on tight. And again, it's a lot of labor, very labor intensive to do this, but I think that this would be a very good body armor, and I plan to do it for my forearms, for my arms, shoulders, legs, groin, the works. But this is what I explained in the other video, so I hope this gives you a better visual representation of what I'm planning to do. And again, 4 millimeters of Kevlar, 4 millimeters, I'm sorry, of this steel titanium composite with the Kevlar in between each layers, I think should be able to stop a rifle round. The idea would be that Kevlar cracks and steel doesn't. So the steel should kind of hold the Kevlar in place. When a bullet hits this material, it should crack or break it, and then the Kevlar will catch that bigger piece. As the bullet deforms, it'll start getting larger, which will allow the Kevlar and the titanium to catch it better. So this should be really good at catching rounds and stuff. As they penetrate, again, they'll deform, and it should be able to catch it really well. So anyways, that's what I had in mind. I'm sorry that sometimes I can't verbalize things correctly because it's in my head. I got a computer and I have a CAD program there, but it's just so much easier to lay it out in my mind rather than to do it on the computer. So anyways, peace.